During this module, we will walk through the steps to request a new role within MACPro and modify existing MACPro roles within the system. Before requesting a role within the MACPro application, you must have an EIDM ID and an EIDM role for MACPro. EIDM is an identity management and services system that provides users with access to a variety of CMS applications. An EIDM account ensures that only authorized and registered users can access protected information and systems through the CMS Enterprise portal. All MACPro users, regardless of user role, will be required to have an EIDM ID. Users may register for an EIDM ID by going to https://portal.cms.gov and selecting New User Registration. Further guidance on EIDM for state and CMS users can be found in the State Resources tab on Medicaid.gov. A number of distinct roles have been established for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, or CMS, state MACPro users, and MACPro business support users. These roles determine in what capacity a user will utilize the application. For your reference, a list of available MACPro roles for states and CMS can be found in the Introductory User Reference document for roles and administration located in the State Resources tab on Medicaid.gov. Now let's move into the MACPro system. We are working in the training environment for this demonstration, and therefore the information that you see during this training is arbitrary information, only being used for training purposes. The images shown in this demonstration are reflective of a training environment, and the available options may differ based on your user role. When you first log into MACPro, you are taken to your News page. Begin by selecting the Records tab from the upper toolbar. Next, select the link to My User Profile, and then your name. In your user profile, you will see your basic information, such as your first name, last name, type of MACPro user or EIDM role, user ID, email address, phone number, and Frontline Manager. The Frontline Manager field applies to CMS users only. You will notice that there is a message under the Approved Roles section that reads, "No items available." This indicates that we do not currently have a role within the MACPro system. Once roles are requested and approved within the MACPro system, they will be shown here. CMS users must enter a Frontline Manager before requesting or modifying a role within MACPro. If a CMS user attempts to request or modify a role before their Frontline Manager has been captured, a validation error will occur stating that a value must be entered in these fields. Entering and editing your Frontline Manager is for record purposes only and does not have an impact on who approves your roles within MACPro. Begin by selecting the button to Edit Frontline Manager at the top of the screen. Alternatively, you can select Related Actions from the left-hand toolbar and then select Edit Frontline Manager. Enter your Frontline Manager's first and last name in the appropriate text boxes. For this example, we will enter John Doe and select Submit. You will now see that your frontline manager is populated in the appropriate field. In the upper right-hand corner of the screen, select the button labeled Add or Modify Roles. Alternatively, you can reach the screen by selecting Related Actions from the left-hand toolbar and then selecting the option to add or modify roles. To request a role, locate the Add Roles section and select the appropriate role from the Role drop-down box. For this training, we will select the CMS point of contact. Please be advised that the roles available to choose from in the Role drop-down box are determined by your EIDM role for MACPro. Additionally, the subsequent fields of Program, Component, Authority, Office Type, Region, and State or Territory are dynamic and will populate based on selection. We will now make selections for each field and ensure that all fields are complete. By selecting the link to View or Edit in the Notes and Info column, you will see a description for the role you selected, along with rules for what is allowed in each field. This will help guide you as you make your selections. You will also see a text box to edit notes. Although it is not required, you can leave a note for the user approving your MACPro role. Your approver will receive this note along with your role request. We will enter "This is for training purposes." To hide the Notes and Info section, select the Hide link in the Notes and Info column. You may request multiple roles at a time by selecting the link to Add Role. This will bring up an additional line to add another role to your request. Please be advised that once you submit a role request, you will not be able to request additional roles until these roles are approved or denied. Therefore, should you require multiple roles within MACPro, it is best to request all necessary roles in one role request. To remove a role from your request, you would select the red X next to the role. Once you have finished filling out all required fields, you can check to see if your role request passes validation by selecting the button labeled Check Validation. If validation errors are present, they will be listed below the Add Roles table. All validation errors must be fixed before you may request the roles. In this example, we have a duplicate request for the CMS point of contact role. We will make the necessary changes to our request and select Check Validation again to ensure that we have fixed the error. If validation passes, you may select the green button labeled Request Roles. You will receive a confirmation message asking if you are sure you want to request these roles. The message also notes that you will not be able to request additional roles until these roles are approved or denied. Select Yes. Your role request has now been sent to your MACPro approver. Once they have approved or denied your role request, you will be sent an email notification. You will also see an entry in your newsfeed on your MACPro homepage. Now, let's take a look at how to modify an existing MACPro role. We will begin by logging into MACPro. As we did before, we will select the Records tab on the upper toolbar. Next, select the link to My User Profile, and then your name. In the upper right-hand corner of the screen, select the button labeled Add or Modify Roles. Alternatively, you can reach this screen by selecting Related Actions from the left-hand toolbar and then selecting the option to add or modify roles. Your current roles will be listed under the Current Roles section. To modify this existing role, we will simply modify the fields under the Current Roles section by utilizing the drop-down boxes. Let's assume that you held the state editor role for child quality measures and you have recently changed teams and will now be creating Health Homes quality measure reports. For this example, we will change the authority in the drop-down box to Health Homes quality measures. As we did when requesting our initial MACPro role, we will select the View Edit link in the Notes and Info column to view a description for the selected role, along with rules for what is allowed in each field for guidance. We may also leave an optional note for our MACPro approver in the Edit Note section. We will assume that our MACPro approver is expecting our role modification request and will skip this step. Please note that if you request to modify a role that has an open and accepted task, a validation error will appear stating that the role cannot be requested due to open tasks. You must first complete your open task for that user role and try again. Since we are not adding a new role, but rather modifying a current role, we will select the red X in the Add Role section to remove it from our role request. Once you have finished modifying the fields for your current role, select the button in the bottom right hand of the screen labeled Check Validation. If validation errors are shown, they must be fixed before you may request the role. We can see from the message that validation has passed, so we will select the green button labeled Request Roles. You will receive a confirmation message asking if you are sure you want to request these roles. The message also notes that you will not be able to request additional roles until these roles are approved or denied. Select Yes. Your role request has now been sent to your MACPro approver. Once your approver has approved or denied your role request, you will be sent an email notification. You will also see an entry in your newsfeed on your MACPro homepage. This concludes the demonstration on how to request or modify a role within MACPro. Technical assistance is available to MACPro users. For issues related to MACPro access and how to use the MACPro system, contact the MACPro Help Desk at macpro_helpdesk@cms.hhs.gov or call 301-547-4688. Additionally, MACPro training resources for states and CMS can be found in the State Resources tab on Medicaid.gov.